Guess I'll go ahead and call this meeting to order. Okay. I started with adjournment of public hearing, is that right?
You're calling to order the
Mhm.
public hearing.
Okay.
Seeing if there are any comments.
Okay.
I believe is
Yep.
what you would say.
Okay, great. Are there any audience comments, Doug?
There's nothing in the chat.
Okay. And then consent agenda,
Move to approve.
second. Okay, Ginger.
Point of order,
Uh-huh.
excuse me, Counselor. Yep. Do we normally have to adjourn the public hearing?
Oh, we gotta adjourn the public
You need to
hearing,
adjourn
Oh,
the
sorry.
public hearing before.
Okay.
And
Thank
then
you, Counselor.
Thank you.
So you
Okay.
get to,
All right, I'll change my motion to,
Take mine back.
I'll move to approve the budget hearing.
See, okay. All right. And then do I have a second to Joe's?
I'm almost afraid now.
It's me, it's not you, it's me. Okay,
Motion to adjourn the public hearing.
a motion to adjourn
adjourn
the public hearing.
okay,
Got it.
great. All right,
Second.
and
There's a second.
so,
Do you have
Ginger,
to-
if you'll call for the vote?
Ms. Baker,
Aye.
Mr. Dunbar,
Aye.
Mr. Girton,
Aye.
Ms. Oden,
Aye.
Ms. Sosby,
Aye.
Ms. Stover.
Aye. Good, thank you. All right, so then now audience comments,
Yes, there are none, so.
okay, great. And then now consenting the agenda.
So,
Move to approve.
Second.
Okay, Ginger, if you'll call for the vote?
Ms. Baker,
Aye.
Mr. Dunbar, Mr. Girton,
Aye.
Ms. Oden,
Aye.
Ms. Sosby,
Aye.
Ms. Stover.
Aye.
Thank you. All right, and then new business, director's goals attainment report.
All right, so there are two parts to that. Pages 20 to 30 have the summary of my goals and actions, and then there's like a supplement to that on pages 31 to 32, which is specific to the independent learning goal. And if you haven't taken a look at that, you might want to make sure you look at the pictures from the photos from the poster session, because that's kind of fun. And so are there any questions on that or anything you'd like me to review?
Did everyone attend the poster session, or did they have like a point person at their poster?
Everybody, if you look at the pictures, you can see like every table was stacked, like,
Okay.
so.
Yeah.
And that changed because it went on, we had several different time slots, and so over a couple of days. So some of the people, took
Mhm.
turns doing, staffing that, and then, almost everybody went through. I mean, there were a couple people on vacation, and we didn't ask, like, high school students weren't part of this
Mhm.
project, but
Okay.
unless somebody was, sick or on vacation or whatever, otherwise, I think the department, the managers did quite a good job of scheduling pretty much everybody to come through, including from the other locations, so, yeah. And that was one part of that goal about Harwood, using Harwood principles to develop training materials and educate our staff on community-focused mindset. So. Anyway, I'm assuming you can just look through that, but if you have any other questions, I mean, I found my meetings with community leaders to be really helpful. The only one that really I didn't do much with is that Doug really has done a strategic planning process without much input from me. So when I wrote the goal, I was making myself available for that. And then the pages 31 to 32 tell you how, when I had independent learning, how many hours, what I did, and some of what I used that for, so.
Right, great, thank you. And then director's community engagement report.
And that is something I provide to you, has to do with one of the areas you, that you evaluate me on, I believe, and so that is on pages 33 to 34. And it just tells you the kinds of meetings I've gone to, or, where I've served or been involved at various things around the community over the past year. If you have any questions, I'd be glad to answer them.
Going on to director's contract then.
All right, this was really due for the agenda next month, but the committee completed this early. And since one of those people on that committee was Stephanie Carroll, and she won't be here next month, they decided to go ahead and just bring that to this month for your approval. And there are no substantive changes.
Do I have a motion to approve the director's contract?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, Ginger, if you'll call for the motion.
Ms. Baker,
Aye.
Mr. Dunbar,
Aye.
Mr. Girton,
Aye.
Ms. Oden,
Aye.
Ms. Sosby,
Aye.
Ms. Stover.
Aye.
And then next thing is scheduled January 2025 board meeting dates.
All right, we will double check with the date you pick and make sure that there is a room available. If it wasn't a room here, then that would be the month we would go to South if we could get a room there. So Ginger will work on that as soon as we, once we get out of the meeting, she will look at that too, to make sure we get a room. But because Martin Luther King Day falls on the third Monday of January, we always need to reschedule the January meeting. And because it has a lot of end of year paperwork that Rita is trying to get ready for you, historically, finance has always asked you, please not to do it too terribly early and to involve Rita in this negotiation of a different meeting date. So.
Is there a way we can change, we do this every year, right? I mean, is there a way we can change the policy? And is there a policy for board meetings that we meet on the third Monday of every month? Can we throw in an exception? Like,
I don't know if it's in the bylaws or not. I can take a look.
I don't know for sure either.
I'm just wondering if we can change it to the fourth Monday of January, because Martin Luther King Day is never gonna, it's not gonna change. So anyway, just a suggestion,
That's a good suggestion.
because we won't go on the second for accounting purposes.
Right.
We'll always move it to the fourth Monday.
Although sometimes we've moved to it to a different day of the week, depending on who's on the board and how available they are.
Sure.
So, it could be the third Tuesday or,
Sure, I'm just suggesting that we change it to a standard
Right.
fourth Monday
In
and,
January.
right.
What the bylaws says is regular public meetings of the Kokomo-Howard County Public Library Board of Trustees are generally held the third Monday of each month.
There you go.
Okay,
You support that authority to move it, I suppose.
sure, sure. I mean, it's just, I've been on this board for how many years now, and every year we have the same conversation.
And once every 7 years about Juneteenth, it will happen now that Juneteenth is a holiday.
Okay.
However many years.
Okay. Good to know.
So is the fourth Monday the preferred date for people?
Is that a school board meeting?
No, it's another board meeting.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Oh, okay.
At the same time?
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you have a different date to suggest, a different
Date that
date to
week.
suggest? Joe, when you don't have.
Tuesday, the 21st is the third.
About any other day would work.
Okay.
So shoot for that third Tuesday then, January 21st.
Or is that the,
It makes
yeah,
no,
that would be a third.
It might snow. Or ice. Who knows?
So the 21st.
Does anybody have a conflict on the 21st?
Barring the snow forecast.
And barring the room.
laugh, we don't.
I know. It's January.
Available. Side decay, but you know.
Rooms
Yeah.
available.
Okay,
Okay,
thank
so the 21st.
you. Okay. Yes,
Okay, exhibit policy.
all right, that is just up for review in the usual, way of things. And it's on pages 40 to 41. So it should be just immediately after the contract. And, sorry, Stephanie, we didn't give you.
Oh, no,
a
you're
paper.
okay.
We need to give you a
Yeah.
paper agenda. Sorry about that. I apologize. So there are a few minor changes of adding a contact for Roosevelt and giving us a bit more flexibility on when we contact someone, send a reminder. And that is it. Unless there are other changes you want to inquire about.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Ginger, if you'll call for the vote.
Ms. Baker,
Aye.
Mr. Dunbar,
Aye.
Mr. Girton,
Aye.
Ms. Oden,
Aye.
Ms. Sosby,
Aye.
Ms. Stover.
Aye.
Resolution to adjust cash change fund with Rita Bates, Head of Finance.
As you know, we're getting the new software and equipment so that the patrons can do the point of sales. And we need cash in there. So for right now, because they'll get put in service before our next board meeting so we can have it. I won't get the cash out until we actually have them here. We started with $54 in each machine. That may be more than we need because we're expecting a lot of people to use a card. So after we use it for a little bit, I may come back and say, hey, we need to decrease it. We don't need this much. Or maybe we need more. I don't know. So I just started everybody the same. And then after we use it a little bit, we'll see how much change we're using and not using. The credit card only settles once a week. So I'm going to settle the cash with each one the same, just once a week. So I don't know how much they'll eat up all the change and people put dollar bills in and, not need the change or whatever. So that's what that's for.
Move to approve.
Second.
Okay, Ginger, if you'll call for the vote.
Ms. Baker,
Aye.
Mr. Dunbar, Mr. Girton,
Aye.
Ms. Oden,
Aye.
Ms. Sosby,
Aye.
Ms. Stover.
Aye.
Next, we have Staff Development Day update with Christy Tate, Head of Human Resources and Volunteers.
I just wanted to come kind of give you guys a little bit of an update of how we've done it the last couple of years with some highlights and then some of the things that we are wanting to do for this year. So. Okay, so getting close to coming up on my 3-year anniversary, and I was lucky enough that Faith pretty much right away brought me in to the Staff Development Day. Just knowing that that is something that I actually really like doing is building into the staff and making sure that they have what they need. So a few of the highlights from that first year as Faith was really saying that, hey, needs to be kind of a point person, so that way I can kind of help, but I don't have to do all of it. And I kind of stepped in saying, hey, I'm willing to be that person. So in 2022, we started making a few changes. We added in a game show to add in some team building, and we started the first year with Library Feud, and it went really, really well. Some of the team names and teams are up here. So we let staff organize themselves into teams, and we actually were lucky enough to send out a list of questions to get real responses from real library staff. So we had 605 people respond, and then we went through and just did traditional Family Feud. So top 5 answers are on the board, and here are a couple of our questions. Name a librarian's most important accessory, and name a reason a book may need to be mended. And then we also threw in some fun ones like list 5 things that may be found in the staff break room, fridge, stuff like that. And people had a lot of fun with it. We ended up using all of the time allotted. People had a lot of fun. We came down to one winner, and we did it like tournament style. It ended up being a lot of fun. Some other new things that year were, it was the first year back in person, post-COVID, and we did it at Ivy Tech at Hinks Hall. And that was a really great change that Faith was able to facilitate, because it gave us more room to spread out. I have never been part of the old style at South Branch, but I've heard stories. So it was nice to be able to spread out. And Ivy Tech has been an excellent host to us. Each year, they have given us more classrooms that we've been able to use. So our breakout sessions as well have been able to kind of spread through the building. And that first year, since it was a newer facility over at their new building, they gave everyone a great tour who wanted to go. And it was just a really, really fun day. And Penn Station was new, so they were able to do our lunch. They gave us a great cost, so we were like, yay. So it was just kind of a fun back to normal type of activity. So then last year, Faith handed over the reins to Emily Hoover and myself. So we've had a lot of fun kind of changing things up, adding some new people into the fringes of helping to plan that. So last year we did lunch with the Radish. They had just started doing their, hey, let's provide lunch for people. So I was able to work with Adrienne, and she did hot lunches for us. So soups and a potato bar. So that was a lot of fun. We did a new employee video, a little bit different. So we actually did rapid fire to each of our new employees and asked them like if they could be a superhero, what superhero would they be? What was their favorite part about working with the library? And so we were able to spend about 30 seconds with each new staff member and really getting to know them, and they were on camera. So we got their voice and their face, and it ended up being, a lot of fun. Get this back. If not, I got printouts. Okay, great. There we go. We also, so for the game show last year, we did a 5-second challenge. So name 3 children's authors in 5 seconds, and it's meant to put people on the spot. Some people did well, some people didn't. So that was a lot of fun. It ran a little quicker than we expected. So I flipped over to trivia real fast, and everyone seemed to really like the trivia part of the day because I'm really competitive. So I immediately went to what's the most competitive thing I can think of, and it was trivia. And we also added in some staff celebrations, as you can see up there. I felt like we didn't spend enough time celebrating accomplishments that we had. So we asked staff what some of their accomplishments were, and we went through and highlighted all of those. So we had one staff member, this was absolutely my favorite, who was able to buy her first home. And she actually said, thanks to the library for giving me a chance, and then showed me that I am worth more than I ever thought was possible. And that led her to being able to buy her first home for her children and herself. So that was kind of a nice little positive thing that we did last year. We also highlighted, Ashley Myers and myself did Project Ready Mini or Light, which was kind of, instead of doing the huge Project Ready, we condensed it down into 6 sessions. And then we thought we also need something smaller than that for frontline staff, so they can kind of get that taste of what Project Ready is as far as equity, diversity, and inclusion. So we also did a 2-hour version on the day of Staff Development Day that staff were able to go to. We had about 10 to 15 staff who were able to do that. So they got that taste of Project Ready. We created a staff resource guide that staff are still using to be, if a patron comes in and says, hey, I need help with finding childcare, or I need help being housed, they're able to pull up that staff resource guide and say, hey, if you need childcare, call Childcare Solutions or call Early Head Start or wherever it may be. And we're able to give them those resources. And we also started doing movement breaks. So for each of our breaks, if staff wanted to get out and get moving more than just talking to a coworker, we said, hey, Kaylin and Michaela are going to do a walk around the quad for the next 10 minutes, meet them out front. So we were able to add in those positive movement activities, as well as some really nice team building within the group, because with us having 4 locations, it's easy to get siloed, and we're trying to break those down. And one big thing that we did, the second breakout session, everyone, to get everyone to meet their EDI requirements, every single option was an EDI option. So everyone met their EDI requirement by attending Staff Development Day. So we had 99% completion rate. We had one staff member who didn't get it in, which hurts me to know. Good end, but that's okay. So we were really high on our EDI goals for last year. So for this year, we are going for our EDI, we are going to be doing a human library option. So I contacted the head of the Human Library Hub, and she is actually going to do a corporate event for us. So she's going to bring in between 10 and 20 books, which the books are the people that give their lived experiences. And our staff will be dividing into groups and rotating among the books. So staff are going to be able to kind of play off of each other and hopefully get some really good lived experiences with these amazing fellow Indiana people who are going to be joining us, and all of the books will be EDI based for that as well. So it's going to take a little bit of finagling of our schedule because it is going to be a longer chunk of time, but we think it's going to be a really worth it chunk of time. So we are going to be rearranging our schedule. Our game for the day is going to be win, lose, or draw. We really decided between that and Jeopardy, and everyone, we thought, well, we're all bad drawers. Let's make it some fun. We are also going to be doing a mini lip sync battle as part of the day. That will be our team building, big team building activity for the day. So we already have some highly competitive staff members that are already on board and preparing. So I had to give the caveat, family friendly, we are at work, so don't make it too great, guys. And a couple of our breakout sessions for session 1 are going to be based off staff benefits, because that's one thing that we've heard is that staff don't understand their benefits as fully as they can, especially retirement and some of the other optional benefits. So we are adding in that special session for people that want to learn more about their benefits. So that way they can really take advantage of all the benefits that we have to offer, because we have some great ones. So we want to make sure our staff know about that as well. So those are some changes that are happening this year. It's still, a lot of it's in flux. We are still meeting and we're going to start meeting pretty frequently because it is coming up before we know it. Because it will be that second week of November. Usually we have it on Veterans Day, but with the election and everything else, that takes Veterans Day out of the mix. So we are doing it that second Friday in November, which is November the 8th this year. So that will be the date for this year. So that's a really quick overview of what we're doing for Staff Development Day. Does anyone have any questions they would like to ask? Okay, it's going to be a lot of fun. Hopefully I'll have some pictures or something fun to show you after the fact. So thank you very much if you guys have any questions later, just come and ask me. I'm always available and I'm an open book.
One of the things that's really nice about having an HR position is that Christy can do this kind of thing. And so she does work on that off and on throughout the year. And it's been really helpful to me to not be in charge of this. It's really time intensive. And I think it's been great to have some fresh eyes, and to also, I think, having someone who's not me chair it means that some of the discussion and planning without me there is probably more open and better. So it's been a nice change, and I really appreciate Christy being willing to facilitate that. And it really is a lot of work in terms of trying to make all the pieces come together. And there are a lot of other things that, you know, you didn't hear about, but one of the advantages too of not doing it on Veterans Day is that, for example, we've not been able to have the retirement people come because they're a state entity and they have, it's a holiday for them. Veterans Day is a holiday for them. So by having it on a day that's not Veterans Day, it opens up some additional potential presenters for us because it's not a holiday for anybody. It's not quite as good for the public in that they just always thought if we were closed on Veterans Day because it was a holiday, so it was easier to get people to understand that. So it will be a little trickier to get people to understand we're closed on November 8th and open on November 11th. So feel free to tell your friends.
No, your enthusiasm and the themes are impressive. It looks like you're,
It's one of my favorite things.
it sounds, yeah.
It's fun.
And Faith, I'd like to commend you for actually delegating that and allowing it to someone else to grow in their skill set. So I do commend that in you, and I want to let you know.
Thank you. I have gotten, you know, the first year I paid more attention to last year to what was on the team and trying to make sure no balls were dropped because I'd written this multi-page thing about all the things you have to do and I knew I didn't get it all. But this year I've really not done much at all. I've asked Christy about it in our regular meetings, but you know, so.
I know I can go to her questions, so.
Yes, it's great.
Thank you so much for sharing, Christy. Thank you. And next we have our thumbnail sketch, Brain Fuse with Trina Evans, Head of Children's Services.
Do you want me to speak back here? Or
Nope.
want me to go up front? It's not, okay. I also appreciate the movement breaks at our
Oh.
staff development day. I do not like to sit very long, so I'm glad to walk up here because I need a movement break right now. So I'm just letting you know about a new service, not so new to us, but still new. We got it in spring. It's called Brain Fuse. So I had initially had put it in the budget for this year, and it was one of those things that did get cut because it was so expensive. It's about $7,000 a year. But when I had talked to Faith, we were still getting calls, and she suggested that we ask the Friends of the Library, and the Friends of the Library was able to give us $5,000. So that was really great. We only had to pay for the two. So we did get this Brain Fuse online tutoring service. It was in the news, in the paper, the local paper, and from that initial article, Taylor Schools immediately called and wanted to know all about it. And we've done like 2 or 3 field trips with the high school so that we could tell them how Brain Fuse works. So I thought I would go over all of these things, and I was like, no, I think the easiest way is everybody get out your phones. And you can either pull up our KHCPL app. If you don't have it, you can go to khcpl.org. And then once you've got to, let me know when everybody is at our homepage, which should look like this. If it's the website, and no pressure, you can always look at your neighbors too, look at the app. And once you're here, just let me know, just put a little hand up. Or is our internet very slow? Yeah, you're fine on that. You'll have 2 different screens depending on if you're using the app or the website. If you're on the website, I always say that you're gonna, these little pancakes at the top, the 3 little lines, you're gonna hit the pancakes and you're gonna go to e-resources. If you're on the app, then you're going to also hit, you're just gonna go down to online resources. So the app, you're just gonna go click online resources. In the website, you're going to click the pancakes and go to e-resources. If you went to the website, you will see the e-resources. You'll just click all. And all should take it to you, take it by alphabetical. If you're e-resources, you're just gonna see, and it starts with ABC mouse because it starts with A, BrainFuse starts with a B. It's a little bit easier on the app, but if you don't have the app, then you can just, khcpl.org. All after you get to those resources. And again, it's BrainFuse, it's alphabetical order. So if everybody would click on to BrainFuse, not where it says show me is a tutorial with a green tab, access resource, and is it a blue tab, and you're gonna access that resource. Let me know when you've all got to the access of the resource. I feel like our internet is a little bit slow down in the basement. Hopefully you've gotten to this page right here. Is everybody to this page right here where it shows BrainFuse? And you'll notice that it asks for your library card number. I'm going to give you your library card number. So your library card, and everybody's ready for the library card number?
No, find out the loading.
Is it still loading? Okay, well, wait a moment. Oh, I'm so sad that the internet's not a little bit faster.
Is it there? Oh, it's gonna be.
Yeah.
Sorry, couldn't.
Once I went on,
Yes.
once I went on public Wi-Fi, and then it showed up.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so we put our library.
No, she's gonna give
I'm
it.
gonna give you your library card number because you guys have a special card called the Board of Trustees. So is everybody there for that library card number?
Oh, yes, now I am.
Are you good?
There we go.
Yes, it's a real library card.
Okay.
So your library card number is 2, 2, 3, 0, 0, 1. Your PIN is 1, 2, 3, 4. The PIN they say never to use. If you need that number again, let me know.
We'll see.
Again, put in my own, so if it skews your stats, I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. Everybody have that, or you need it again, or is it still loading?
It's loading.
It's thinking not there too.
Okay, it's there.
My public Wi-Fi.
I'm there. Tutors are available every day from 2 p.m. to 11.
Yes,
Yep.
and the reason I want you guys to have done this yourself, we find that we have much more success with patrons if they do instead of just show. So now you know how to access BrainFuse and you can show someone else. With your library card, again, you have to have your library card because it's a service that we pay for. But the great thing, as you guys will see, it will say that you can access a live tutor from 2 p.m. to 11 p.m. We know the kids stay up late. There are over 4,000 tutors. They are BrainFuse certified. BrainFuse certified, obviously, they have recommended, like, you have to have like knowledge in the subject. You have to have either an education or a tutoring background. This live tutoring, and it's nationwide, 4,000 tutors. You can go on there and you can click on the, do you have yours pulled up right now? It's like the help. I didn't put in my library card number. Hold
I
on,
do
I'll say.
want to look at mine.
1, 2, 3, 4. Let me put that in really quick. And basically you'll see there's like the tabs at the top. Here, go to your tabs at the top so I can see it. Use the back. Yes, you'll see where it says expert help, study, or collaborate. And then right underneath it, you'll see like the live tutoring. So that is, we essentially got it for the live tutoring, but it offers a lot more. We do that because every day we're having people call and say, we need tutors. There is a shortage on tutors. There's a shortage on teachers. This can be used in the school. As you notice, we are all using the same library card. So we talked to Carver. Carver is very excited. We're gonna go in 2 weeks and we're gonna set up for the very first week, we're gonna go and facilitate it. So that way that they're feeling ready. They have one organization card. And so they have that card and then all the kids come in, they bring their laptops. They're going to run it themselves. If they don't have a laptop, they can use their phone. It is live. There's like a little whiteboard. They can ask questions and it's a person. You can take pictures using your phone. We know the kids are using their phone for everything. So they can just take screenshots if they feel uncomfortable doing things. And this is the main reason why we got it. And already we have different field trips. So I think Lafayette Park is coming too. So it's newer. We got it in the spring. So it was at the end of the school year. And so, but people were excited. We could see the data that people were using it in the summer. 0, right? No one's doing anything. And now we're starting to introduce it again. And I've called all of the schools. Now, as you know, schools are very busy. It's hard. I've sent a lot of emails with not a lot of responses. But we are going out, like with the Carver, we've had the field trips, and we are trying to figure out how we let people know, again, this free resource that the library has. But what's really great is this is not just K through 12, this is also adult. You will look on there, there's a section where you can, I think there's like a featured section. There's live chess tutoring. There's also FAFSA help, which is really important. And then there's all of these like pre-exam. A lot of people can't afford to pay someone to like do these tests so that they can go to college. There are like these little study, like it says like Skill Surfer, I think. And so that you can go on there, there's like flashcards and all of the stuff is completely free with a library card. And if organizations would like a library card, they can work with us. We will help them. But basically, I want you to click on the things so that you understand how it works. And I suggest you do the same for someone else. If we just tell and show, it doesn't make people do and act. So that if you want, there's a lot that I can go over, but I just thought the best way is you guys do it. Like, you'll figure it out, right? It's really a great service. It is in the budget for next year. And so we really, because it's so expensive, we've got to show the data that people are using it. If it's one of those things that people don't use, I mean, we're definitely, everybody's kind of at the front of AI and how that can help with like homework too. But right now, this is something that we know, and we're investigating AI and how that can help. But as of now, this is a very credible thing that, we can rely on. So anybody questions? Yes.
Is there a social media post out there already or one being developed that we can share?
There is, I noticed, so I don't, I will check our Facebook page, and we do a lot of things, so I feel like a lot of times it gets buried. People usually like the things with the pictures, like I think come up more, but we put the social media post on there. I know that Kaylee just put one a couple weeks ago, but then there's been a lot of stuff with like library card sign up month. And then Brainviews just sent me an email that I sent to Kaylee, our head of marketing. They created some more like social media, like fun things. Like there's this cute one for October. I don't know, it uses emojis with ghosts and things like that and spooky. But there's on YouTube, which, we know our kids like go to YouTube. Brainfuse has its own channel, and there's a bunch of short videos. So if you're like, oh, I need to like know a little bit more how to use it, you can go to YouTube, and Brainfuse has its own channel with a bunch of videos. But yeah, I'm hoping, I did remind Kaylee that now that it's fall again, to put some more. So she has some stuff scheduled. But I do think this month gets hit a lot with library card sign up month, so.
I saw something on social media with the Carver Center.
Yes, they're
That's how I
promoting,
knew
they're
about.
promoting that we're coming, they're doing.
Yeah,
And
I saw that.
I want to tell you something exciting about that.
didn't even
When I
know.
originally was
Yeah.
setting up my leader meetings with community leaders, I had omitted Carver Center because Kaylee had kind of been building a relationship with the director there. And I thought, okay, Kaylee's already working with him, that's fine. Well, then the directorship changed, the leadership changed. And so once it came to my attention, there was a new person there. I contacted JC Barnett, who's the new director there, and he was very responsive, set up an appointment right away. I went within a week to go see him. And he said, one of the things he said early on is like, we're changing our emphasis. It's going to be about education. And he took notes the whole time we talked. And I said, you know what, you need to know about Brainfuse. And so there were various things where he wanted to know, how do I get people from the library to do this and this? And, I told him the kinds of things we did. And he was excited about so many things that then I came back and I sent him an introductory email with the people he would need to work with. Like, here's the person who, about library cards, this is, you would want to talk to, Kayla. And I gave them the names, their emails, their phones. And so Trina was on that about, children's things and Brainfuse. And there was a list of probably 4 people about various kinds of things. Like if you're having an event and you want someone, contact Kaylee. And so now a lot of that is happening, and not that Trina wasn't going to go around and tell people, but he knew that several months ago, that was part of his information that he had because of my leader meetings. And because he was, able to be very articulate about where they were going and what they wanted to focus on. So, we have been in contact with him now with multiple people. And that's, I think that's going to be really helpful. So yes, they did advertise that.
Yes.
The other thing I've seen with BrainFuse, when we had our first wave of publicity in the spring, people really paid attention. And so I have seen other patrons, I mean, not library employees, but just patrons, when somebody asks about something related to that, I've seen it on various posts and community groups where somebody, before we can even see it, like on Nextdoor or on Facebook, some community member will say the library has a tutoring service. So I'm hoping it will be used well. I think word has gotten out better than I, better than I would have expected, probably. I think the community's been pretty receptive. So some of it is getting places that have groups of kids to participate, so that's what Trina's been working on lately.
Yeah, schools are busy, which I understand, so I have a whole list of reminder emails,
And
yeah.
after-school programs like Kokomo Urban Outreach, or, this is a busy time of year for them too, right? They're getting organized,
But our stats are up. I've been checking each month. I mean, it's fine. We're good. So I feel good about keep adding it into the budget, but it's just really great because it's like the kids can use it for the tutoring, chatting, drawing, screen sharing, audio, video. It's all there. It's very easy to use. I hope you guys will use it. Did you have a question?
Is there a certain age of kids or just any school age kid is?
It starts from kindergarten and it goes all the way to adult. And then you'll notice, I think when you can also do it in Spanish as well. So there's tutors that speak Spanish.
Is there a number that you reach as far as how many students that are being tutored for the $7,000 level? If you hit,
They did that mostly on just our demographic, they're like, this is their population size. This is.
okay.
And then they did say, I think when we first did it, they were like, we'll give you a deal if you sign like the 3-year contract or.
Okay.
I think they were like, we're gonna do it this for so long before we add up, but it's mostly population size. Cause I think we were looking at also like tutor.com versus like BrainFuse. And I think this one had like more days. Cause that was also like a model too of like how many days. And it's like, well, really, you just want it to be, this one felt like it would work better with the, like just the 2 to 11 instead of like picking days and yeah, there's always, right? Like you can always add on more like add-ons and stuff. So
The premium.
yeah, this whole thing right now is just like, cause there's also the BrainFuse and then they have like the Help Now and the Vet Now too. There's like a different component for like working and then also for veterans. So there's different levels. We're just starting with this, but it feels really good. I won't bore you with like stats and those things, but now you guys have it in your, your phone. And then if you want to call, you could always ask Kayla, unless anybody wrote that number down, you could use that number with the PIN. That will give you access to that. So any other questions?
I was just thinking, I don't know if after school programs like daycares could be on that list.
Of course.
Or and maybe, if
100%.
information. But I was thinking they might be somebody who they're probably doing a lot of homework help with kids after school.
I mean, it's really the goal. It's
Yeah.
the goal to have all of these organizations.
Yeah.
Like have this at their fingertips. They can get that organizational card. It's just getting out there. I think people, good intentions of wanting to do all the things, but you have so many things to do. It's unfamiliar. And then also I think everybody gets a sales pitch at some point of like what something that's actually useful.
Yeah.
So if you could, let people know that this is very useful and there's no weird gimmick and it literally is free and we're paying for it. That would work for all of our databases, but I don't think people always understand exactly all of the resources of the library. Super underused. So any other questions? No, then I'm gonna take my movement.
I believe it is though, like it's a written interaction, right? Like it's whiteboard or based where you're not actually, it's not a video interaction in the sense of, okay, so the child isn't talking. So in terms of your age question, unless they have an adult helping them, they have to be able to read and write adequately to communicate. So
Yeah,
more.
I've been trying to see if you can use a lot of times.
A
you know,
speech
just like
to
the
text.
voice to- Yeah.
Voice
Yeah,
to
and it, I don't know, but of course,
Yeah, I never looked at that.
depends on, of course, first graders' tech skills may very well. It's most of ours in this room put together, so.
So just take snapshots too. So like if you just have snapshots of your page, you know, you could do that as well.
Thank you for letting
Excellent.
us know about
Thank you.
that. That's great. Okay, other new business, so that's our board business, right? So just a reminder for board members, if you'll get your director evaluation back to me. And then I also gave some dates for us to set up an executive session because I won't be at the next board meeting. We'll have to meet on a different day. And I can resend those dates out to you guys a little bit closer to the time. And then I also just have fun personal news. I am pregnant and due at the end of March, so we'll see how that impacts my help with the library board, but hopefully, if you see me with Cheerios or, you know, I think when we had our one of our committee meetings, I had to bring Cheerios and ginger ale.
She couldn't keep it a secret without us know what was going on. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Well, I can't top that. But I do want to give a shout out to Doug. My wife and I are getting ready to go on vacation. She was talking about getting a book to read. And so I said, well, you can download all kinds of books to the website from the library. And she goes, you can? I go, yeah. So we've got to get you a library card. So we met on a Thursday evening and Doug got her a library card and she immediately started perusing. And so I want to thank Doug for going out of his way to help us getting a new patron.
Yeah,
No problem.
thank you, thank you.
All right, and then director's comments?
All right, I just wanted to let you know, I did send out an email earlier today in response to a question at the work session, where it has a handout that has our state legislators and then how to contact them. So if there's anything on there that isn't clear, you know, let me know. But if you want to say, I sent it as an attachment so that you could save that document separately if you wanted, as opposed to trying to find an email in 6 months. So if you want that in any other way, let me know. But I did want to make sure you knew that I did send that through today. And then I also am, as I mentioned at the work session, I am looking for a couple of you for each of our elected official open houses in November. There will be a reception area at the end of as they go through a few stations, their last stop will be a little reception area where they can have a snack, ask us questions, that kind of thing. And well, the events are a Tuesday and a Thursday in November. If you want to pull up a calendar, I feel like I don't think I need more than 2 of you, even one in a pinch. I mean, I don't know what the turnout will be like. I hope we'll get people to come. We're inviting about 50 people and we have 2 dates, but I mean, it's impossible to know how many people we'll get. So at least 1, maybe 2 of you to hang with me at the end of their tour to answer their hard questions, thank them for coming, see what they want to know, promote the library, be a smiling face of the library. And so the choices are Tuesday, November 12th or Thursday, November 21st. The events run 4 to 5:30, but you would not need to be here until about 4:10-ish or so. I mean, nobody should be at the last station until close to, like, I would say 4:20, 4:25, even if they're here right at 4. But in case somebody gets started off early or something, I don't want to not have you here. So, so that is my ask. Is there anybody whose calendar is free and who would like to be part of our advocacy effort? Alan?
I'm good for either.
Okay,
I am as well.
Okay. Anybody want a specific date that works for you, whereas the other one doesn't? But you could also split up the time if you wanted, but
How long does it go? What
it
time?
goes till 5:30, so it's really, if you came at 4:10, you're talking about an hour and 20 minutes. I mean, it's possible somebody will still be here after 5:30. I can't know that, and if they are, if they're finishing up their tour at 5:30, we're not going to say, you know, tough on you, time to leave, you know, not be.
What was the second date, was 31st, is it?
21st, Thursday, the 21st, it's a week before Thanksgiving, or Tuesday, the 12th.
I can do the 21st.
I was gonna say I could do, I think the 21st, the 12th definitely out, but
I can take the 12th then. And what was the time?
If you arrive about 4:10 down here, we'll be over in A.
Okay.
And then Alan and Mary, I'll put you both on the Tuesday. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. And if anybody has a problem, again, if we had to go to just one of you, you know, that'd probably be fine. And if we have lots of turnout, like when people start to RSVP, if one of the dates is really packed, then I may, you know, call and see if we can readjust. So great. And I don't think I have anything else for you. I think that's enough.
Right. Okay, then the regular meeting is adjourned.